Hi everybody, welcome to the Monday edition of Facebook Live Online Recovery Support Group. My name is Kelly Kirk and I am a certified peer support specialist in Richmond County, North Carolina. So welcome, thank you guys. Hey Reed, what's going on? Thanks for being on here so I'm not alone. Well, I got my cat, as you guys can see. But anyway, let me read our introduction really quick. It's like really short, and then we'll jump into it, okay? So welcome to the Facebook Online Recovery Support Group, supported by the Sandhills Opioid Response Consortium. This is a forum where people in recovery can come together. We are here to encourage and support individuals in their recovery journey by sharing our own experience, strength, and hope. Our meetings consist of daily readings, meditations, devotionals, and open discussions. We only ask that when sharing, you adhere to the rules and guidelines of the page. All recovery paths are welcome, and please feel free to share your comments, questions, or input on the comment bar down there at the bottom. So thanks guys for being on here with me. And so today, I thought I would talk about something that we all go through, whether you're in recovery or not, which is hardships, tribulations, trials, all of the things that we all face, throughout life. It's pretty much, life is just full of issues that we have to deal with. And for people in recovery, sometimes those can be more heavy hitting, like going to jail or overdosing or, just the nature of addiction can bring a lot of tribulations. But we pretty much all go through those, whether it's like getting a divorce or finding out, that someone in your family died or having to start your life all over again. Or whatever it is, it's like these things just come and you're never expecting them, and we have to face them. We have to deal with them. We don't have a choice. And I think as humans, our first response to anything, finding out about a big crisis or anything that's going on in our lives, is to be emotional. We're humans. That's what we do. Your first reaction is going to be like mad or cry or angry or freak out or whatever it is, but if we stop and realize that dealing with adversity is part of life, on this planet, we can face these things one by one as they come at us. And it reminds me of the old Timex watch commercial where it was like, the Timex watch would get dropped into like a paint mixer, or it was frozen in some ice, and then the vacuum cleaner sucked it up, and it was like attached to an arrow tip and shot through like a pane glass window, was swallowed by a cow. Like the watch went through all these things, and it was always working whenever it got done. And they always said at the end, like, Timex, it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. So that reminds me of, like, that's how we have to be, right? We have to, no matter what it is that we go through in life, we have to just keep on going and we have to deal with it. So I wanted to talk about some of the things we can do to help us manage difficult situations. I think, if we think about our problems carefully and logically, and break them down into doable steps, it makes the situation easier to face and then eventually overcome. So I think the first thing you do, and this is with anything, whether it's divorce or, losing a job or just whatever, is to educate yourself on the topic. Knowledge is power, and, do a lot of research, find out like everything there is to know about the issue, the subject that you're facing. The more you know about something, the better off you're going to be. if you don't take the time to find out all about this issue you're going to be facing, then you have to trust someone else that they're making the right decision for you. But if you educate yourself and learn all about this crisis that you're facing, no matter what it is, you can always learn about it and learn the aspects of it. You know, there's usually a lot more to it than you first realize, and if you can get an idea about it, then you'll have a better idea of what to expect, what's going to happen and when, what steps you can take, and, you know, explore all the ways that you could handle it. If you don't take the time to educate yourself, you know, you could be one of those people where after it's all said and done, you're like, oh, I wish I would have known that, or, you know, I should have done it this other way, but I didn't know. You know, so knowing all the ins and outs of a topic allows you to choose a path that works better for you. And you may find ways to make things easier on yourself when you learn all about the ins and outs of whatever it is you're facing. So educating yourself, I think, is like the first smart thing you can do. And then the second thing would be to get organized. You know, when you're getting ready to face a crisis in life, the worst thing you can be is like messy and with everything in disarray, you know, and that goes with your schedule too. Whatever it is that you're facing, you're going to have to like take action towards it. And if you're like busy all day doing stuff and you're so busy that you can't fit anything else in, then you're going to get overwhelmed. So, maybe take a look at how you're spending your time. Cut out anything that's not benefiting you, because I think a lot of times we just like stay busy, and some of the things we're doing we could cut out if we wanted to, and, you know, work smarter, less is more, that kind of thing. So I think if you're going to successfully tackle a crisis, you want to have a clear vision of what's what, you know. And I think the third thing, when you're facing a trial, a tribulation, something that's life-changing, is to do your part. And that's basically like whatever it is now that you have to do, make up your mind and do it. You know, I always say that when I'm faced with something big, I'll do everything I can. I'll do everything that's in my power to do, and then I trust God for the rest. And at least I can say then that I did everything I could to try to make it work out, or I did my part, you know. And a good way to do that, you know, when you first take this thing on or when it first comes at you, is sit down and make a list of all the things you're going to need to do. And because it's much easier if you write it down than if you're trying to remember all these things. Oh, I got to call here. I got to run here. I got to make sure I pick that thing up. You just keep going around in your head with these things, and you end up most of the time like forgetting some things. But if you write it down, then you can always go back to what you need to do on paper, and you don't have to worry about trying to remember everything. So do your part, whatever the issue is. Do your research, do your part. Do everything you can do, and trust God for the rest. Another really important thing to remember when you're going through something tough is to know that it's only temporary. You know, because sometimes when the pressure is on you and the problem is bearing down on you, it can be really overwhelming. And it can make you depressed, and it can make you feel like, oh, well, I guess this is how my life's going to be from now on, you know, and this is never going to end. And it just feels like it's so much on you. But if you can remember, this is only temporary, you know, most of the time it will end. And at some point it'll be over, you know, so you just got to get through it. And one of my favorite sayings of all time is, this too shall pass, right? Because it's a great saying, because it reminds us that whatever it is you're going through, it's only temporary. And that in itself is encouraging. So, number 5, make a plan of action by laying out your steps in advance. You know, when will you be taking the action? How will you be doing it? You know, why? Getting all that kind of who, what, when, where, why. Make a plan, lay it out so it's organized. You can see what you're facing. That's always a good idea. And give yourself as much detail as possible so that when you get ready to do your next step, you'll be prepared. And also remembering that plans change. So, you know, the situation may evolve. You may need to revise your plan. You may need to make a new plan halfway through or something like that. So making a plan is always, no matter what you're facing, making a plan is always a good idea. It helps you feel like you have it under control. You know, it gives you a starting point, a home base on the issue. The next thing is, don't let it ruin your life. You know, whatever it is you're facing, if you play it smart and you have, you know, a good idea of what it's going to involve or a good attitude towards taking it on, you know, you can have peace during a crisis. You can have peace during a trial. And it's like, for me, it's my faith, you know. No matter what you're going through, you know, if you have faith in your higher power and you pray and trust that, you know, hey, God, I'm doing my part and I trust you that you're going to make sure that you see me through this, you know, that's a huge part, is having that higher power that you can lean into and count on and talk to, you know, and consult with him. So, yeah, don't let it ruin your life. It's all in how you choose to look at it, right? You know, you do what you can, you trust God for the rest. Don't let it consume your thoughts. You know, when I get the urge to panic or worry about something, I always ask myself, okay, Kelly, is there anything I can do about this situation right now? And if the answer is no, then I tell myself, well, then I'm not going to worry about it. I refuse to worry about something when there's nothing I can do about it. You know, I mean, I'll worry about it when it's time to worry about it. And there's always going to be a time to worry about it. Let's say I have court in a week from now, and it's going to be either I go to jail or I get probation, right? Of course, you know, I'm going to be afraid. I'm going to have that feeling in my stomach of impending doom. But I can tell myself, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this weekend with my daughter. And I'm not going to worry about court until it's time to go to court. And then I'll worry about it. That's the kind of mindset. I didn't used to be that way. I used to worry and go, oh my God, what if I go to jail? And I would be all worked up. And, you know, most of the time things work out anyway. But you do deserve to rest until whatever your next step is and enjoy the little things. Because if you wait until nothing is happening, you know, till you're like totally at ease to rest and have peace, the time will never come. You have to like fit it in there. You have to lean on your faith, do what you can, trust God for the rest, and enjoy your life. Even though you're facing adversity, you can still enjoy your life. Number 7, don't worry about things you can't control. Decide what is the best way to look at this situation and then set your mind to it. You know, and keep it set. Set your mind and keep it set. And like I was saying, I used to let my mind just drive me crazy. You know, what if this happens? And what if this happens? But I'm older now, and I cannot afford to be putting myself through that anymore. And I've learned that I can only deal with what's happening right now. And I'm not going to drive myself crazy with what ifs. I experience the things I will actually happen. Without nothing. Except sometimes it's hard. Happen in our just things have changed our the very, you know, happen, to learn, and if we can just exchange our thing, whatever, you to it, and you're happy and stay. When I'm or I don't big, I don't not good for me. I see your yeah, I like structure me. I like having enjoy accomplishing the result, and working goals going down. It's not about our problem. So this way to hint you might be 11 open others. Like other people, not you're not much. What's gonna happen? God, tonight, going out so torture thing to do. What do you do? Take your kid to the go her. Stay other people that make sure like they're tied to that. Take care of yourself. Going through a lot of we go through it takes it can some happen can you things you love something like a it's going to take sure the time backs not earlier, being good and just common sometimes we kind of so it's important to take care. The next one is from some trust, someone with your best at heart. You want to be seeing and talking to someone who can things around on you and actually make the situation worse. But it is good to have someone you can vent to. Venting helps in more ways than one. It's good to, just let it out and talk about it and lay it down and say it. It helps us going through and that person and you feel and it can not leave to talk, inside is never good. Number 14, know that things are usually processed, and things are typically a process. It's like you want it to hurry up, but it's a process, and it's being hard, but you remember it's a process, and at least you're just a little moment, get one day and one step, then it's going to last, and realizing it's going to last for a while can kind of help you endure it and help and not give up, because it's going to be over at some point, but it is going to be a process. So realizing that can help, because you want it to be over real quick. But you're like, no, it's a process. I'm going to hang in there and tough it out. The next one is don't make rash decisions or let others decide things for you. And sometimes it can be easier to just let someone else decide. But I don't think, I think that we need to educate ourselves when we're facing a crisis, and we need to make a decision based on all the facts, as much information as we can get, and making rash decisions is usually done out of emotion. And it's good to, I think you have to process when big hit you. You have to process it. It takes days for you to kind of calm down emotionally and feel all the feelings. And then once that's kind of like subsided a little bit and kind of leveled off, then you can look at the facts and you can look at it logically and make decisions. Always make decisions logically, not emotionally. I learned that the hard way. But that's important. And then lastly, I think one of the things you can do to deal with trials and hardships is know that whatever you're facing, it's never going to be more than you can handle. And that's per God. He says that He will never give us more than we can handle. And for me, there's been times when I was like, God must think I'm a superstar or something. I can handle all this stuff, But when I look back at all the bad, hard, difficult, painful things I've been through, I was able to handle them. I mean, for the most part, I maybe didn't handle them the best way I could have, but I got through them. And I think the most important thing is that we go through things for a reason, and sometimes we don't know what that reason is. But the good part about it is that everything that we do go through and everything that we endure makes us stronger. It builds our person. Also, so like the more you're able to, it's like build, and you build, able to go through every deal because you get through more, able to do more. So, but I think that's all I have today. But I really appreciate you guys watching.